Hello, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United transfer news. Pure Scott in the live chat says worst transfer window ever for Manchester United. It's an interesting statement that. We've got lots to talk about on the show this morning. We'll be talking about, amazingly, I suppose United might have watched the show last night. There is a story coming out that we won't be signing Antony. We're not getting Dybala either. Ronaldo has apparently found a club. Jong is still mission impossible. We will be making some signings apparently, and also a lot more to talk about on the show. But I suppose that's an interesting start from Pure Scott. Is this the worst transfer window we've ever had? No, it's not. Honestly, it's not. But is it a good one? Is it a good one? I think at different stages you feel positivity because we've got a signing in. I'm very excited about Lisandro Martinez. I think many people are excited about Lisandro Martinez. But I don't believe that this transfer window is anywhere near what it should be. And I'd have that conversation with anybody. I think United are, again, labouring under new kits being released and how great training is, and a very positive pre-season tour and spacing out signings that actually should have been done weeks ago. I think we are being manipulated because I think United have to manipulate us, because if they don't manipulate us, the truth will out that this is actually nowhere near the transfer window we would have expected from a club that is trying to close the gap, not on Liverpool and Man City, but on Arsenal and Spurs. So, morning Mark, loved the Talk Sport show last night. It was a cracker. It was a good one, Mikael Roach. So we're going to start off with this. Ajax have priced Antony out of a move and Manchester United no longer expect to sign him. This is coming from the Manchester Evening News. It actually goes on to say that a right winger is now no longer seen as a priority. I'm going to give you a very, very quick, early algorithm or rule of thumb, or just a little sentence that basically justifies what that is. That makes it sound like Ajax have priced Antony out of a move. Let's just break it down to what it actually means. Antony desperately wants to come to Manchester United and his agent has told Ajax that. Erik ten Hag desperately wants Antony to come to Manchester United and he's told Manchester United that. Ajax want a fair price for him. Manchester United don't want to pay it. Don't blame Ten Hag, don't blame Antony, and don't blame Ajax. This is quite simply the Glazers, Richard Arnold and John Murtagh saying we're not spending that money on that player that you want. That is not backing your manager. Don't care what anybody says. Wrap it up, spray it in perfume, do what you bloody like with it. Put it out in the garden with some sun cream on and get a nice suntan. Give it a pina colada. The reality is, it is what I've just said it is. Player and agent desperately want to come to Manchester United. Ten Hag desperately wants this player because he fits the profile of a winger who's left-footed that we desperately need. Manchester United are saying, no, we're not buying you that player. Manchester United, Glazonomics, we're not buying you that player. And don't tell me it's anything else, because quite simply, that's what it is. Why are we not buying this player? Because we've messed up the transfer window. We only have a limited budget and now they're saying the money's not there for Antony. I wish I'd been the director of football. I wish you'd been the director of football, because we may not have a CV, but I would not have waited till the middle of July to negotiate with Ajax when they were saying at the end of June, we're not selling you players on the cheap, we've sold enough. We should have been in there with Edwin van der Sar in late May saying we want Antony and Lisandro Martinez, we're going to pay you for them. Can we get these deals agreed in principle? Because we are trying to do another deal and the money's going to come through. But look at what Barcelona have done. Look at how inadequate and amateurish Manchester United are. Barcelona had Rafinha lined up from the end of May. They've had Lewandowski lined up from the middle of May. They've only just signed them in the last week. There is an absolute basic failure at Manchester United to understand the modern transfer market. I was reading about the Lisandro Martinez deal and that was in jeopardy because Ten Hag really wanted him. United weren't really getting anywhere and we had to fly over to the Netherlands to speak to Edwin van der Sar and help him get him to sort the deal out. And we still bent over and spent 65 million euros. I absolutely agree with this story from the Manchester Evening News. It was what I feared last night. Player wants to come, agent wants to do the deal. Ajax will do a deal. They just want a good price for him. Ten Hag wants him. United go, no way. God, no. We can't spend that amount of money. We're knackered after the Lisandro Martinez deal. That was hard enough. We can't do that. So a manager, yet again, goes into a new season with a hole in the team because suddenly a left-footed winger, which is absolutely essential, not a priority anymore. It's not a priority. It's because you can't bloody afford it, because the Glazers won't release the money, as per usual. So if you are protesting at the start of the season or at the end of last season or a year ago, remember these things, because we've still got these people in charge who still won't let this club be what it should be, which is competitive at the top level in English football. Forget bloody Europe. We've got no chance. We're not even in the Champions League. We're in the Thursday night Emmerdale Cup. But we won't even be set free to be competitive in the bloody Premier League, because we've got these owners who go, yeah, I know that player wants to come, and I know you've done a load of work preparing that player to come, and I know you really want him, and I know you're a new manager, but I'm really enjoying your training videos. Let's focus on your training videos. I want a winger who's left-footed, who wants to come to this club that's going to really give us a chance of getting in the top 4. No, let's go back to your training videos. We're selling loads of kits from that. Come on, get on the training ground, Eric. Come on, get us another video where you shout at people. And yeah, it's all great in the short term, but you know what's going to happen next season. Either Sancho or Rashford will get injured, and then we'll be short on the wing. This Antony should be being bought by Manchester United. I'm not going to sit here on a Monday morning and go, yeah, that's fine. We've been priced out of a move for Antony. We've not been snubbed by Antony. Ten Hag hasn't moved on to a different target. Ten Hag wants him. Antony wants to come, and United have said no. And that's it. And I'm going to move on, because I'm going to get very, very hot on a very hot day. But say it for what it is. I'm very, very, very eager to applaud Manchester United when they do good things. I think appointing Ten Hag was a good thing. I think Lisandro Martinez is going to be a good signing. I think Eriksen's going to be a good signing. But let's not pretend that there aren't massive issues still at that club. And you've got to call it out for what it is. Not many people will. I hope some journalists will. I know there's good people working at Manchester United, but good people does not mean ignorance is not an excuse, basically. I know loads of people who are just ignorant about issues that they know. Well, that's not an excuse. And I'm not going to be ignorant the fact that the Glazers own this football club. He wants players, and they're not bloody getting him for him. And it's in the first season. And we're still locked into this make-believe fantasy that Erik Ten Hag is Harry Potter, and he's going to take a load of players that were shit last year and turn them into Premier League winners. I hope he can. I really do. But when he wants a player and he's not getting it, it's a disgrace. We were a shambles last year, an absolute shambles. And he's being told by our bloody board, you're not getting the players you want, you've got to work with what you've got. And just remember that. Remember when you think about last season, remember when you think about losing to Brighton and Palace and how bad we were, was that completely Rangnick's fault? Was that completely Solskjaer's fault? Or was it actually partly to do, or mainly to do, with players that we're now saying, oh, Ten Hag's trained them, they're going to be good? It's a massive risk, and it's not fair on the manager. It isn't. He wants this player, and he should be getting them. And United at the moment are not delivering anywhere near what they promised to achieve. And I don't know what Richard Arnold was talking about in that pub, because at the end of the day, if you go back to those quotes, absolute nonsense. If next summer is the same transfer-wise and Ten Hag still does well, I can see him being poached by a more professional club, says Michael Neal. With the signings we have in the bag, would you say top 4 is achievable, says HBD? Considering Spurs and Chelsea have a decent transfer market and City and Liverpool almost guaranteed top 4, I'm not optimistic, says HBD. I think that everything to do with Manchester United next season is 100%, and I've said this a few times now, and I know a lot of United fans feel it as well. If we get top 4 next season, it's completely to do with coaching. It's not about signings, it's coaching. And I do think Eriksen and Lisandro Martinez will be good signings, but we needed about half a team. If we get top 4 next season, it will be because of the coach. And he's got to work a miracle, but that's the plan from United. At the moment, it's on the cheap. Because even if we get De Jong, it's only 120 million spend. On a new manager in a revamp, that's not enough. Successful clubs have a unified strategy. Man United has a board playing with an abacus in a season with extra workload from the World Cup. It's stupidity, says Brian. So look, yeah. Also, we've had another super chat here coming in from, let me just read it. Oh, my computer's a bit slow this morning. I wonder why, because it's fucking hot. Let's just slow that down a bit. Is there any truth in the Sangari story? Sean, don't. I think Sean's just spent a fiver there to try and wind me up. I mean, no, for the third time in a row, for the third day in a row, that Sangari story came from some bullshit source on Saturday that was absolutely sat down on Saturday afternoon, but for some reason, some United fans are still talking about Sangare when the story was nullified within an hour of it coming out. There's nothing in that at the moment. So, no, let's move on to more relevant things. But yeah, very disappointing about Antony. Now, what I would say is that there was a story last night that Manchester United are still looking to do transfers. I don't think the transfer window is shut in the sense that it's De Jong and that's it. Malacia, Eriksen, Lissandro Martinez and De Jong, which I personally would give a 5 out of 10. Maybe a 6. I think that's a crap window for a new manager. I really do. But apparently we are looking for a right back, which would feed into what I've been told. We'll have to wait and see if this comes to pass. But I've been told we do have a buyer for Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka will be sold and then we'll go for Dumfries. So let's wait and see if that actually happens. We are looking for a right back, and I think this is a position that Erik ten Hag does want to address, just like the left back situation. And a striker is on the agenda. Well, you know what? The cynic in me says that we're not going for Antony now because of Ronaldo. I think this is what's happened. If Ronaldo had been staying, we wouldn't need a striker. So we'd have budget to go for Antony. I think they know that Ronaldo's pushing for a move, and therefore we're going to have to spend money to replace Ronaldo. What will happen with Ronaldo is, and what a lot of United fans haven't figured out in their need to say, get Ronaldo out of my club. Get him out of my club. If he don't want to be here, get him out of our club. We'll be better off with Tony up front. Get him out of our club. But what United fans don't realise is that by selling Ronaldo, we actually cost ourselves being able to get Antony, because we have to spend money that we would have spent on Antony on a Ronaldo replacement. Well, why do we have to do that? Because we've only got a limited budget. And if Ronaldo goes, we'll only get 10, 15 million. His replacement will cost 40. So therefore, we've got to find 40 million that we would have spent on Antony to replace Ronaldo. It's going to cost us money to replace Ronaldo because his value is small because he's 37. And a replacement, even a run-of-the-mill replacement, even a Danny Ings replacement is going to cost you double, treble, maybe even quadruple what we'll get for Ronaldo. So it's a complete and utter false economy for Ronaldo to leave United. Yeah, the Glazers will get a bit of dividends from wages, but the wages we've saved from Pogba and everyone else, that's not been pumped into the transfer budget. You know, we've saved about £40 million in wages with Cavani and everybody else per year going. So Ronaldo is a complete and utter kick in the arse for United if he leaves, because we'll have to use the budget to replace Ronaldo because we're not going to get enough money for Ronaldo. Hear me out. Nicolas Pepe, left-footed right winger, also capable of playing up front. Good age and not a flop that many people think he is, says Duncan. I don't think Arsenal would do that with us. Do you know if the potential transfer add-ons are included within the budgets, says Michael. You never know with the Glazers. They might include add-ons in there. Shovem says, this concept of an elite manager has to get the best out of the current crop of players is bullshit. That was the case. Conte wouldn't have signed 8 players in 8 months, says Shavam. Hey, you know, I think you make a good point there, Shavam. There's absolutely no way that any manager comes into a new club with the jigsaw puzzle of an old club and says, you know what, I don't need to buy players. I mean, that would be ridiculous. Like, any new manager walking into Manchester United would say we desperately do need to buy players. So yeah, Dybala on a free, decent. Ronaldo leaving and Antony too much, as BOM. And Mark, it's an absolute joke. Antony's been priced out of a move. All due respect to Ajax, they're a selling club. Stop a player from developing is stupid, says Ivan. I don't blame Ajax. I don't blame Ajax at all. I blame Manchester United. I don't blame Ajax. Manchester United should be getting the player that the manager wants, and they failed. Just on Dybala, I don't know whether you noticed this, but thankfully we can put the Dybala story to bed. Remember, I've been talking about this for 2 weeks, saying that Erik ten Hag has got no interest in Dybala. He hasn't got any interest in Dybala. We've not gone for Dybala, and actually Dybala's going to go to Roma as per Fabrizio Romano. That deal is progressing very quickly, so Dybala to Roma looks like it's going to happen, and we can put to bed any of these theories from United fans that we should go and get Dybala. I didn't want us to go for Dybala. I like Dybala. I think he's best off in the Serie A. Was it 5 or 6 injuries in the last year? No. He's not the sort of player that we need, and I don't think he's... I'm glad that he's found a club, because I don't think he should be coming to Manchester United. Do we know if Ronaldo is leaving? Certainly, says Simran. And Hi Mark, I've been listening to your show and work every day since the channel was on 70k. Just want to thank you and the community for your good work, says Anton. Thank you very much. We've signed smallest centre-back in the Premier League, says Johnny from Donny. I'm not getting involved in that. I spoke about it on TalkSport last night. I'm not talking about Lisandro Martinez's height. You've all been sat down, your heightists, and there's nothing more to say about it because it's not even a debate. You know, I'll have a chat about that for a day, but if you want to carry it on, you know, absolute idiots. Just do your research. Cristiano Ronaldo is convinced Diego Simeone to bring him to Atletico Madrid. This was a story from last night. Again, do your bloody research. The relationship between Cristiano Ronaldo and Atletico Madrid is not one of love. Now, never rule anything out, but this to me just stinks of what happened last year. Cristiano Ronaldo is going to Man City. Man United, no, we can't let that happen. Cristiano Ronaldo is going to Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid. We can't let that happen. I don't think this is anything other than, one, probably a complete and utter load of crap sauce, or two, Ronaldo and his agent trying to engineer interest. I mean, to be honest with you, this is exactly what happened a year ago. He was at Juventus. He started the season with Juventus. He didn't want to be at Juventus. He did start the season with Juventus in August, and it was the end of August when he actually got his move. So Ronaldo coming back to pre-season is what I want to know when that's going to happen. Ronaldo starting the season with Manchester United is what I want to see happening, but it doesn't mean he's going to stay. Like, Ronaldo could sort of move out at the end of August, which is exactly what he did with Juventus. So I don't think they're going to stop trying to find a buyer. And I don't think they're going to stop bringing around. And right, Chelsea and Bayern might have said no, but there might be other opportunities. There may be other opportunities. Maybe Real Madrid will do it. Maybe PSG will do it. So we'll have to just wait and see with Ronaldo. I thought the interesting thing is, and I know Adam spoke about it this morning, the interesting thing with Ronaldo was that he denied the Sporting Lisbon story as fake, but hasn't denied Chelsea or Bayern Munich. So as things stand at the moment, a grown-up assessment of what's going on with Ronaldo is this. He is still very much looking for a move, and he is still very much looking for a move because he sees no ambition at Manchester United. And what I think you need to do is compartmentalise your frustrations. I'm frustrated that we're not getting Antony if we don't go for Antony, because that's just not backing the manager. It isn't. I don't care what anybody says. You can be ultra happy about the pictures and the new kits and Lisandro Martinez. I mean, I'm happy about some of them things. But surely the end goal is the start goal. At the start of the season, at the start of the summer transfer window, we had a team that had embarrassed us as a club. They basically last season took their shirt off and wiped their bottom with it. They were absolutely crap. That was the starting point of this summer transfer window. The end point of this transfer window is meant to be a rebuild of that first team and a new Manchester United. We are about, I don't know, just over halfway through this transfer window, probably further. Where do you think we are? Do you think we're closer to the start point or the end point? At the moment, I don't think this summer transfer window is anywhere near what it should be. And I don't like headlines of not being able to afford Antony. We've not been priced out of a move for Antony. That's the wrong word. We've even got it in our title. Man United can't afford to buy Ten Hag Antony. That's what is basically happening. And that is a headline none of us want in a year that the Glazers have took over £25 million in dividends. And a headline's coming out that we cannot afford Antony. We as a fan base cannot afford to let these things keep happening. We cannot afford to let managers come into this club and not back them when our owners are tightening the purse strings and taking money out themselves. It's only because we get bewildered and bombarded with positive stories all the time. Oh, look, we've got a new Rashford, we've got a new Sancho, we've got a new Bruno, we've got a new kit. McTominay and Fred, wow, you know what? They're going to be primed Kante and Kimmich now because they've got a new kit and they've got a new manager. And it's all propaganda, it's all spin, it's all bombardment of positivity to mess with your emotions, because that's what marketing is. From Coca-Cola to buying a sofa, it's all subliminal messages to make your emotions move around all over the place. But the cold, harsh facts are, this club is not backing this manager. And somebody will say, they've just spent 50 million on a centre-back. How can you say they're not backing him? Because that's the worst United side I've ever seen last season. It needs 5 first-teamers. At the moment, it's got 2. Eriksen and Lisandro Martinez. Malacia is not really a first-teamer yet. Hopefully we get Jong. That's 3. we're still short of two more starters. And one of them should be Antony. And we're getting a headline this morning that United are basically saying to you and Ten Hag, we're not buying him for you. It's too expensive. We're not buying him for you. Nonsense. 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 I don't know Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool. They don't do that. They don't do that. Do we know if Ronaldo leaving is certainty? We've done that from Simran. Welcome to the Members Club, Joseph, and welcome to George. I have got my new video coming out as promised. We've got a Fantasy Premier League Members League this year. You can join it if you are a member. Check out the member videos. But I've got a new one coming out for you this morning. Goldbridge picks his first Fantasy Premier League team. I'll probably change it before the start of the season, but I've picked my first team and I'm quite happy with it. So I'm putting up the video. If you are a member, check it out. And enter. This club is embarrassing, says Eric. After our worst season, this is our transfer window. Who could we possibly get at this point, realistically, to save this transfer window? It's embarrassing, says Eric. I think you make a good point, Eric, because I do want to just dwell on this for a moment. If the transfer window is not closed for United, Jong still, I believe, will happen. That would give us Malacia, left back, Ericsson, midfielder, Jong, midfielder, and Lisandro Martinez, centre back. Still need a right back, still need a winger. I agree if the fee is 70 million, it's too much, says Chris. I disagree, Chris. Thank you, you've pulled me back in. I completely disagree. 70 million is too much for Antony. What? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? What are you? What are you saying? Are you a Glazer fan? Because I disagree with this. 70 million pounds is too much for a player that Eric Ten Hag wants. You're just a Glazer fan. Like, so who are you? Like, who are you? What are you talking about? Why have we got United fans saying, yeah, we shouldn't buy Antony, he's too expensive? Like, you've become brainwashed. What are you talking about? Our revenue streams are huge. This is a manager that wants this player. He's 22. He'll be at the club for years. We haven't got a left-footed winger. We're short on forwards. And you're saying, yeah, too much for Antony. Well, what's your alternative then? And you're not the bloody manager anyway. He wants Antony and Antony wants to come to United. And you're there saying it's too much. Look, technically, is Antony worth 70 million? Probably not. But we're not talking about technically. You're not buying him for your fancy Premier League team with a budget. We're Manchester United. You've got to back a manager. You've got to go and get a player. It's not 150 million quid. And the reason we've got to pay too much is because the board messed it up in the first place. I mean, I'll throw this at you. Has this been done on purpose? Is this tactics? Oh, we can't afford Antony. Why can't we afford Antony? Because we've left it too late. Yeah, so if you'd gone for him a month ago, how much would he have been? 50 million? 60 maybe? Could you have afforded that? Yeah. Oh, so you've purposely waited till the middle of July till the price is too much and then you can't buy him. The Glazers told us to. It's not our fault, Eric. The Glazers told us to do it. It's not. Should we go down the pub and lie to fans again? Like, if you think 70 million's too much, it's because United have waited too bloody long anyway. If we'd gone to Ajax at the start of June and said, we want Antony, there's 50 million quid, they wouldn't have asked for 80 or 70 because they were in a much better position to sell then. They're doing it to us because they've got all the power now. And I don't know how you can... Well, I know how you can say 70 million is too much because you're just a fan and you're going, I think 70 million is too much for Antony. But we're not talking about what his value is. We're talking about whether we should buy him or not. And yes, 100% we should be buying him because it's what the manager wants. And it's a key position. Antony, to Eric Ten Hag, is in his top 3 priority positions. Centre-back, De Jong and Antony are his top 3. He wanted a left-back. He wants Ericsson as a free. He wants a right-back. But this position is a priority position. And let's not forget, he wanted Darwin Núñez as well, and he didn't get him. So I believe that we have to do it. Tom, but I don't think... It looks like we're not. DJ, welcome to the Members Club as well. Ronaldo has to leave, says Football Vibes, because he does not press. He was boring, not reading that. No, I mean, thanks for the super chat, but I'm not being disrespectful to it. But what do you want me to say? Ronaldo doesn't press. I mean, you've just been brainwashed, mate. I mean, watch United last season. He was at left back. He was at CDM. He was playing as number 10. He was running around all over the place. He's probably fitter than anybody in that team. So this Ronaldo doesn't press thing, it belongs in an idiot book, really. Do you think United will give Eric Ten Hag a bedding in year like Pep at City? Pep finished 4th, then got heavily backed. No. We're not... No, Cold. I mean, it's a bit like, over the years, when a player doesn't get picked, I've listened to people in the chat say it's because he's keeping him back for the weekend game, and then the weekend game comes along and he doesn't get picked again. Yeah, it's because he's keeping him away. He's keeping him back for the midweek game, doesn't get picked. And I mean, why would you ever think that United are going to replicate Pep's first season at Man City? Man City are owned by billionaires that want to spend money. We're never going to replicate anything City do because we've got tight-arsed owners who want to take the money out themselves. We're not going to spend the money like Man City will. Thoughts on Charles de Ketelaere as an option from Club Brugge as a backup striker? I don't know, Mohammed. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do as a striker. I mean, the striking market's not great. Scamacca's interesting, 50 million. I don't think we'd spend that much. If Antony, not for me, but again, 40, 50 million. I don't know. I mean, what I will say is that whatever Ronaldo replacement you go for, unless it's Lewandowski or Benzema or Harry Kane, it's a drop-off. And I don't think there's anybody anywhere near that level in the transfer market. And also, got to say, I think any player we go for, they're going to see us coming. Brentford will see us coming if we go for Tone. Lille will see us coming if we go for Jonathan David. They'll all see us coming, and they're all going to bump the price up. Like, Ajax aren't exclusive. They know we're desperate. The price is there. Neves, they'd see us at Wolves. Everybody's going to see us coming because everybody in this football industry knows that United ain't good at transfers. And that's why we keep getting done over. United are desperate to try and change their perception in the transfer market, but it's not working at the moment. Baden, Ronan and Privet, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. I love Ronaldo, but surely if Ronaldo doesn't return to training by next week, we need to start fining his wages, says Majek. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Welcome to the Members Club, Dirk. I don't know. You might be onto something there. You may well be onto something there, to be fair. I don't know what's happening with Ronaldo. I don't think anyone knows what's going on with Ronaldo. Yesterday was the first time he's really spoken about what's actually going on, and that is that he's not going to go to Sporting Lisbon. If you want a bit of positive, this is what's coming out of United today. I mean, Luke Shaw's done his third interview now, talking about how great training is. I mean, literally, there's another quote from Luke Shaw. I've not put it up, but there is. I mean, he did one last week, and I think he did one the week before. So Luke Shaw's becoming the new Juan Mata, a weekly update on what training's like. So loads of comments coming about training. And Rob Dawson says the word being used around the team hotel to describe Erik ten Hag is intense. His training has been described as the same, which is great. This is great. But imagine how great it would be if he was actually being given the players that he wants as well. If it's great improvement and intense training with these players that let us down last year, imagine what it would have been like with hungry new players that he wants. So, I mean, what if we do get fourth? What if we do get fourth next year with this set of players? Imagine what might have happened if he'd been given all the players that he wanted as well. You know, we could have been ahead of projection, but all that is yet to be written. Also, there is an update from Samuel Luckhurst in relation to De Jong. Now, again, a story has come out this morning from Spain saying that De Jong to Manchester United is looking increasingly impossible. I don't understand what that means. I understand what impossible means, but I don't understand why this deal is now increasingly impossible. I don't know whether there's something going on the Spanish side that we're not quite aware of. I mean, if you look at what Samuel Luckhurst is saying, and obviously this is fresh off the press because he's out in Australia, so while we've been asleep in the UK, they've been writing these articles. United have hosted De Jong's agent, Ali Dursun, who obviously I think was involved in the Malacia deal, at Carrington already this summer. He is believed to have informed Barcelona De Jong does not want to leave, but Barcelona want to sell, as we know, and United have suspected that pressure would cause him to fold. Also, privately, sources close to Barcelona players also say De Jong does not want to go, yet United are emboldened enough to have entered a 10th week of discussions to sign him. So I think that's quite a fair assessment of the situation from Samuel Luckhurst, that everything is saying that De Jong adamantly won't leave Barcelona, but Barcelona have sold him. I mean, technically they've sold him, they've agreed a fee. Obviously, officially, a sale doesn't go through until all parties are happy, but you know, again, in a short sentence, Barcelona have sold De Jong to us. They've agreed the fee. Man United have bought De Jong. They've agreed the fee. But the player is adamant he's not leaving. And that's the situation. And yet Man United still continue to push for this deal. So either you're with me, where you're 90% sure this deal's going to happen because the rumour mill is that De Jong has said he'll come to United and he just wants to sort what he's owed out by Barcelona, or you're of the opinion that this is not going to happen and United are going to custard pie themselves so bad they'll drown. Like, it would be the... there is quite simply... I was talking to a European lad on Twitter today because he was saying that Brian Brobby, they let him go for free to Leipzig a year ago. He came back on loan at Christmas and now they're going to spend £20 million to bring him back, which is embarrassing. I said, hold on a minute. That is slightly embarrassing, but we can always beat it at United. We've let Pogba go for free twice and in the middle brought him back for 90 million quid. So United have got a long list of embarrassing transfers. I mean, ridiculous. You could write a book, actually. There's not many clubs you can do this with, but with Man United over the last decade, you could write a book, and it would be a very thick book on... I mean, if United want to make a bit of money, I know it's a bit like crapping on your own doorstep, but you could write a book detailing worst transfers of the last 10 years and own it. And I'd read it. I'd love to know the intricate details of these crappy transfers, from Pogba to Di Maria, from Schneiderlin to Alexis Sanchez, from Harry Maguire to Wan-Bissaka. You know, the Sancho saga, which ended with us signing him, but actually embarrassed us the year before. There are so many bad deals that United have done. But I think if we don't get Frenkie de Jong, this will top them all, which is saying something because, as we know, we've got that picture of Arnold and Murta out in Barcelona. Now, I retain confidence that we will get this deal done, but, you know, if we don't get this deal done, it will be absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. The Glazers need to pull their fingers out and back Ten Hag and get him the players he needs to restart the club, says Baden. And that's my concern at the moment. Welcome to Members Club Capil. That's my concern at the moment, is that I genuinely want to talk about this in a minute, actually. We can mock Barca for being in a financial mess, but they're making statement signings, says Chauvin. That's the sign of ambition, and their fans demand for the best. Look, I don't like what Barcelona have done this summer transfer window, and I don't think that's breaking news. I don't think a lot of people like what Barcelona have done this summer transfer window. But if you're a Barcelona fan, all right, you can have mixed emotions, but it must be fantastic. Your club is in a financial mess. People are throwing money at you. It might come back to bite them in the future, but actually last season they played rather well. Considering they lost Messi, and last summer was a nightmare for them. They lost Aguero through no fault of their own, obviously had that heart condition. So they had a really bad summer last year. They still managed to play some good football and have a reasonably good, promising season. Xavi looks like he's going to be a really good manager for them. And then this summer, they've had people, even though they've got no money, even though Leeds had agreed a deal with Arsenal and Chelsea, Rafinha's like, no, I want to go to Barcelona, I'm going to wait. Lewandowski, plenty of interest. No, I'm going to wait, I want to go to Chelsea. There's so many players queuing up to go to Barcelona and wait. United just don't get these sort of deals done. We just don't. And I mean, Barcelona are in financial trouble. We're not in financial trouble. We're in financial trouble because we're owned by people who want to bleed us. We're not in financial trouble. We have got the money to do this. We could have a £200 million summer transfer window and financial fair play wouldn't even batter an eyelid. We don't, and I don't think some fans realise this because they've become so indoctrinated in the Glazer United ownership that you do get United fans saying, I don't think we should spend £70 million on Antony. And you want to pull your own teeth out because it's like, we could spend what Man City spend. We could spend what Chelsea spend. We could spend what Real Madrid spend. We could spend a lot of money at this club because we've got a lot of money. But it's all locked up in the Glazers' hands and they won't release it. They want us to operate on a budget that Villa do. In fact, sometimes Villa outspend us. That's not even fair on Villa. Mark, if we get Nunez, do you think we'd still be in for Frenkie de Jong, says Graham? I mean, look, I think that Manchester United really did want Darwin Nunez, and I think we backed out because Darwin Nunez wanted to go to Liverpool. But if we'd bought him, what would our summer transfer window have been? It's scary to think if we'd spent €80 million on Darwin Nunez and then bought Frenkie de Jong, that probably would have been our window. Maybe we would have got Eriksen on a free. Mark, one thing, whatever happens, nothing going to change. It won't change for the last 9 years. It's not going to change now, says Jay. look, maybe Harry Maguire's going to get better. Maybe Marcus Rashford and Bruno are going to get better. Maybe Erik ten Hag will get us into the top 4 without many signings. But many people would say you're talking out your arse. One thing I will say, Leopards very rarely change their spots. This Glazer ownership, no matter what, it's not going to change, is it? I think we'd love it to change. I'd openly applaud it if it changed, but Ten Hag might work miracles. Some of these players might turn it around, but whatever happens, we're never going to change the mentality of these owners. They're in it to make money. They're in it to keep us in debt. They're going to keep taking their dividends, and they're never going to spend the money that this club makes. They're not. People will say, well, you spent $1 billion over the last year. We could have spent 2. That's the way to get your head around Man United. I mean, you'll know it as United fans, but if you're not a United fan, if you ever say to a United fan, you're always moaning that you don't spend enough and the Glazers are crap, but they've spent £1 billion over the last year. Yeah, they are. Over the last 10 years. Yes, they have. But they've also kept us in debt to £500 million. They've also taken hundreds of millions out themselves, and our revenue means that we could have spent 2 billion instead of 1 billion. So don't talk to me about things you don't understand. Yes, we spent 1 billion. We should have spent it badly, but we could have spent another 1 billion, and we are still £500 million in debt. And they have taken hundreds of millions out in dividends. So they are not, and they are very far from being good owners. Extract from the book: we went to Barcelona full of glee. John had diarrhea on the plane. He was 50-50 about the deal of a lifetime, says Nick P. I'd love to see a list of players that left that haven't been replaced over the last 9 years. That must be enough. A small B team, says B. Yeah. Well, I want to just say as well that I think it's always good. We used to do. I miss it, but for some reason this summer's just not really worked out. I miss doing the transfer hotometer. I used to have this sort of top 10 transfer targets for United, and every couple of days I'd change the graph, and it was always out of 10, but if I was 10 out of 10, it meant a deal was going to happen. I think the way that this transfer window has gone is that it's always been impossible to do a transfer hotometer, because in previous years you'd have 5, 6, 7, 8 players and it would be changing. At United, it's been very predictable. De Jong is the priority, and it's just boring even having a percentage for that. I mean, I'm 9 out of 10 if you're interested, 90%. Timber at the start, obviously that fell away. Antony all summer, and looks like it's going to fall away. Eriksen, well, it's a free transfer. It's not massively exciting. Malacia sort of came in early and then disappeared, then came back again. And Lisandro Martinez came in a few weeks ago and looked nailed on. So it's never really been an exciting hotometer transfer window because there's not been any movers. It's all been, the targets have been pretty much known. We've never had any manoeuvrability. I mean, I suppose Timber to Lisandro, that changed. Malacia was always the left back. Eriksen was always the free transfer. De Jong has been going all summer and there's never been an alternative. Antony's always been the attacker he wants, and now he's not going to get it. I think there might be some desperation signings. If we go for a striker, it's only because Ronaldo wants to leave. It was never part of the plan. And the right back is Dumfries if we can remove Wan-Bissaka. So it's been a very subdued transfer window in relation to, are we going for that player? This is coming up and that's coming down. We've always pretty much known the targets that Ten Hag wants, and then it's just been pure frustration about how long it takes, or we're not going to get those targets. What would I say about this transfer trajectory window at the moment? Well, I think that, look, I would still give this... I think the Lisandro Martinez signing has knocked it up from a 2. At the moment, I'd give this transfer window a 3 out of 10. We still haven't got De Jong. We still haven't got an attacker. We've still sold next to nobody. And there's still massive holes in the team. So I'd give it a 3 out of 10 at the moment. If we get De Jong in and Ronaldo leaves, I don't think you can give that transfer window any more than a 5. If Ronaldo stays, I'd knock it up to a 6. But Ronaldo going, that's a massive blow. And if De Jong's only going to be the next new signing, I could only give it a 5, and that's abysmal. United should have been looking at an 8 or a 9 out of 10 in this first summer transfer window. And what concerns me is if we do end up giving this transfer window a 5 or a 6 out of 10, do you think year 2 is going to be better? Do you think next summer's going to be any better? Or do you think that the stage has been set? Well, Ten Hag's accepted that window, so let's just do it again. The surprising thing for me is that every summer transfer window, United have been in the Europa League. They've absolutely crapped themselves and spent loads of money because they can't do 2 years out of the Champions League. Interestingly, in the new United, at the moment, unfortunately, it seems that the new United strategy is, let's not spend a load of money when we're in the Europa League. Let's focus on coaching, which might work, but it's still a cheaper way of doing it. So it benefits the Glazers to focus on coaching, and it neglects the transfer budget. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's still very hypothetical, but I do think it's a disgrace to pull out of the Antony deal when it's a player that he wants. And ultimately, the message being sent is that the Glazers don't want to spend money on this manager. The Glazers need to pull the fingers out and back Ten Hag, says Baden. Thank you very much. I have a sneaky suspicion we're going to get Dybala. He's going to Roma, apparently, Trey. Thought there was a verbal agreement with Ten Hag and Jong. Why haven't no journalists reported that, says Diesel. And welcome to the Members Club, Abdul. Look, I think we're going to get De Jong. I really do think we're going to get De Jong. But things change. Things change. Rafinha was going to go to Arsenal. Then Chelsea came in. Then he waited for Barcelona. United were going to buy Timber. Then he said no, and they went for Lisandro Martinez. De Jong has been talking to Erik Ten Hag and Man United through his agent for weeks. In May and in June and in early July. But in the middle of July, something might change. You've got to be wary that something can change. Now, I actually remain 90% that we're going to buy him, but things can and do change, and we need to be wary of that. Only 3 weeks ago, I was 80% sure that we were going to sign Antony. The stories coming out from Antony's side. Remember when we were talking about the Barcelona reports and it was the Brazil reports, and it was going to hit the UK press, and it did. And there was even a story from James Robson a couple of weeks ago, who's been really good this summer, saying that United had put a proposal forward of 51 million that had been rejected by Ajax. We have 100% spoken to Ajax about Antony about a deal. Antony 100% wants to come to United, and Ten Hag 100% wants him. We've even spoken to Ajax about it. The update now is it's not 80%, plummets down to below 50% now, because United have basically said we can't afford it and we're not going to buy him. United have made that choice. That's the story coming out this morning. United have said we're not buying Antony, we can't afford him. Ten Hag, we're not going to get him. And what happens there? Maybe we try and get him next summer. But then you're just putting problems back a year, which the Glazers love to do this. This is what we've been doing for 3 years with the midfielder. We've needed a midfielder for 3 years. Oh, we'll do it next summer. We'll do it next summer. We did it with Sancho. Oh, it's too expensive. We'll go back next year. If you're going to be a club that's doing things next year, you're writing seasons off. And if you're writing seasons off, well, I'm sorry, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, even Spurs now, they're not writing seasons off. They're solving problems in the summer. We're accumulating problems. Oh, so we won't buy Antony till next summer. Well, we need a winger now. Next summer, we'll probably need another 2 or 3 things. Oh, well, we'll get Antony and we can't solve this summer's problem. We'll put that back. And then the following summer, oh, there's new problems. Let's solve last summer's problem. Keep putting it back. This is what owners that aren't interested in football and are interested in making money do. It's just about maintaining an equilibrium, or whatever the word is. It's just retaining a balance where there is anger, but there is happiness. There is failure, but there's fourth place. That's what it's all about. It's Man United. All the Glazers want to do is maintain this balance. When things like the Super League happen, it tips it in a way that they shit themselves, and they have to do things like Ronaldo and Sancho and big signings, and we're going to build the stadium and we're going to give fan shares. It brings it back down, and that's what they want. We're not going to spend a lot of money. We're still going to take dividends. We're still going to piss the fans off. But as long as we can keep that fan, I suppose, protest or whatever to a low level that not everybody's on board and they are buying the shirts, you keep the scales like that. Now, what a Man City does, or what a Chelsea does, or what a Liverpool does, is they want no negativity. They want no criticism. They want to be good. They want a good manager. They want a good team, and they want to compete for the prizes, and they tip the scales like that. It's hard because I've been in that situation, and many of you have with United, where the scales are up here. You're winning things. You've got a manager. You believe. It's exciting. And that's what Liverpool and Man City have got at the moment. And that's what their club is driving. It's a horrible situation when you're like this, because it creates toxicity. And the Glazers love toxicity because they love it when we fight it with each other. And the reason we fight with each other is because some people can see that this club has got no standards at the moment and it's very low. But some people are like, well, it's a lovely kit. Oh, I believe in these players. Oh, I love the training ground winning team pictures. Oh, you know, it's not that bad. We might get 4th place. And that creates this balance, and that's all they want. They don't want to tip it and be successful, and they don't want to tip it and be in trouble. They just want to maintain a balance, and that's why you get into situations where you do get Lisandro Martinez, but you don't get Antony, because it's just about giving enough to keep enough people happy, and doing enough that the people who aren't happy aren't a majority. Anyway, enough of that. What's the Glazers' sale price? They ain't going to sell, Nick. Would you sell something? Would you sell something that's making you a lot of money? No, they won't sell. Thanks everyone for watching. Anyway, we'll be back at 2 o'clock. What are we expecting this week? There's no press conference. I don't know why he's not doing a press conference, but we are playing Crystal Palace in the morning. I think it's about 11 o'clock kickoff, isn't it? So we'll be back with the 2 o'clock show and the 8 o'clock shows today. Match tomorrow. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday press conference, and then Saturday morning we play Villa, and then we fly back. So that's the week for the pre-season. Transfers wise, I don't know. I mean, they've killed the Antony deal within 24 hours, so I don't know now. I would be looking at a striker, the Ronaldo situation. And what I would say about the Ronaldo situation is that it's becoming what we didn't want it to be. If Ronaldo was staying at United, we wouldn't be talking about Ronaldo, we'd be talking about Antony. But because Ronaldo's looking to go, we've now got to solve that and get a replacement. It's extra business that this recruitment, this ownership was never going to do all the business it needed to do. It's now doing less business because it's focusing on Ronaldo. What about the sales? I don't know. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Smash a like on the video and make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. We're on that road to 400k now. You can see we're only 11 away. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe. And if you are a member, I've got a new video coming up for you later this morning. It's a Fantasy Premier League video for our new Fantasy Premier League that we've got for the members. Links in the chat, or join through the chat, or the join button. And I'll speak to you all in a little bit. Thanks for watching.